What is back? Welcome up, everyone. Today we are going to be doing MODCON, or being one of the hosts for MODCON. There were several other hosts for MODCON. We are here hosting the Victoria 3 section. I know a lot of you guys, or at least my audience, is interested in EU5. So for VODs from other hosts, we have Tarkus's yesterday, who did CK3, and also did Victoria 3, and then Midgeman from yesterday, who did EU5. We are doing Vic 3 today, and one mod, which is also both of those. As you can see here, we do have a schedule, and also hello and welcome everyone as they start to come in. We're going to be trying to keep things tight, so we're not going to be reading every message like we normally do when we're streaming, and there is also a charity for this stream. Specifically, the charity is going to be... Let's pull it up. The Video Game History Foundation, but I think we could actually just pull up their website here as well. Let's see, we do have the browser, and bam, we have their mission is to bring video game history back to life, and they have a lot of different things that they're working on, both preserving physical, media as well as code, these types of things. Physical media, not just in terms of the actual video games, but also a whole bunch of kind of stuff around video games. I don't know if you guys remember, at least when I was growing up, there were a ton of video game magazines. They have stuff like a giant library with video game magazines, programs for public education. You can see here media assets archives, archival collections, scanning and uploading a whole bunch of all of these things so that they don't get deleted, to the sands of time, which is, kind of probably something that is generally going to be more common for digital media. Is when the last copy of the thing's deleted, it's just gone, right? There's no digging it up later. And so we are raising money for this as our charity for today. You could donate through the YouTube. There is also going to be a giveaway. Now, the giveaway should be a Google Doc that you can enter in. One of the MODCON hosts should be putting stuff into that in order for people to sign up. There's going to be two giveaways, one about halfway through the stream, and then one at the end of the stream, and then there might be one on Midgeman's stream, who's going to be on later today. It must be a car. Yeah, we're gonna get some cars too. Can't have a stream without the cars. But with all that said, let's get into our first mod, which is going to be the Expanded Nihilism mod. It's a rearrangement of the vanilla nihilism experience with added content for nihilist governments, including their new journal entries, events, war goals, and some unique flavor for a few tags. Now, I could go on. We could talk more about nihilism. We could talk about why it doesn't matter. And then we could talk about saying that it doesn't matter is actually not a really good portrayal of nihilism, because it's less that things don't matter, but more you can't just have objective truth. And then we could talk about, metaphysical nihilism versus existential nihilism. But then, we'd get down a rabbit hole, and then we'd have to, be late, and then we'd just, wish we had just started the video for the mod.
Welcome to Shades of Black, a nihilism overhaul for Victoria 3. For some brief context, nihilism in Victoria 3 is an ideology with some unique but limited content. It has a journal entry signaling its emergence and an endpoint of being obliterated or made a stepping stone to greater things. In vanilla, two tags, Germany and Russia, have dynamic name, color, and flag changes for if the country is led by a nihilist. This inspired the mod, both in what it presented as flavor and in its limits. Dynamic nihilism changes draw a parallel with significant government changes like the French Commune or Soviet Union, but the vanilla change is ultimately quite flimsy. The rules for being, for example, the Union of New People in vanilla, as Russia, are to be a republic with state atheism and a leader with specifically the nihilist ideology. That latter requirement means that if anyone else gets elected, your whole nation changes name and flavor. A bit drastic, huh? Changing that was originally the scope of the mod, a micro tweak. But why stop there? The mod features additional events and alterations to the vanilla journal entry alongside a unique war goal for nihilist countries to spread their revolution. The distinction between this goal and regime change is found in the certainty and narrow scope of what will be changed for the losing nation, and the system of infamy around spreading said revolution. Neighboring countries will receive an event informing them of the change. After all, a nihilist victory on your doorstep as a religious or monarchical nation would be cause for concern. Likewise, an event will fire for like-minded nations, nations, lowering the infamy. The infamy gained from spreading nihilism is dependent on how much of the world already aligns with the goal of revolution, if your actions are seen as belligerent or liberatory for the rest of the world. The mod has both general content for any nation that faces down the threat of or embraces nihilism, as well as some bespoke content for Russia, being the actual historical basis for much of the mod, as well as Vanilla's presentation of the Nihilists. Russia's unique content consists of a journal entry on the cultural debate around serfdom and emancipation, and an altered form of the vanilla nihilism JE to feature more specific elements of the Russian nihilist movement. Future content will be angled at fleshing out the German experience, though the historical well runs dry beyond that. But don't worry, the general content gives plenty to handle. Every nihilist nation will eventually face a crisis of identity. Weathering the initial crisis is intended to be nigh impossible, though perhaps viable under very certain circumstances. Why make it nigh inevitable? Partly as a commentary, and partly as something where the player is rewarded if they manage to work past it somehow. The reward is even more ahistorical than the intended path, but it's mechanically powerful. It's not the sort of thing the AI should ever manage. The intent is to try, likely fail, and then move on to the next journal entry about the coalescing of ideology. In some presentations of nihilism, ideology is a scare word. There is a flat-out rejection of principles, of ideology, a certain incongruity of bold declarations of firmly believing in nothingness at odds with believing in nothing. Wallowing in that incongruity is not an option, and so begins the struggle to identify what makes up one's ideology with two main paths. The egoists represent individualism and ideas that will ultimately empower the petty bourgeoisie to an extent. The altruists represent a certain collectivism and empowerment of the trade unions. Historically, there was no such distinction, and there were many self-declared egoists who could define their ultimately very collectivist vision of the future as in their own individual interests. The terms are a convenience for depicting the ideological divide and serve to give the player an indication of where their nation falls in terms of the flavor of its politics. Like the change of the armed forces to the Red Army in vanilla communism, interest groups may become aligned with the nihilists. Said alignments alter the swing of the national culture while also altering the IG ideologies to incorporate certain nihilist ideas. In the event that one side does not triumph, well, you're in for a bad time, akin to the sputtering of a revolution into, well, nothing. With a potential silver lining I can't get into yet, and not just because it's yet to be fully implemented. If there can be a political mission broadly ascribed to nihilism shared by its adherents, it is the concept of clearing the ground, of ending the current structure first and foremost, and then finding what comes next among many, sometimes contrary visions. Efficacy aside, this is what leads us to the emphasis on events and amendments that ask questions of the shape of society, the relation to the past, to art, to culture. There are also decisions on the appropriation of church land and the shape of the education system. All of these, from the earlier amendments to these latter decisions, shape part of what drags your country towards the altruist or egoist presentation of nihilism. Your ability to shape your country will often be limited by the success of certain nihilist programs, represented by the propagation of atheism in your country. Should you fail to change the way people live, what good is proposing an idealized world? Clear the ground and be the will that shapes the future in shades of black.
Or don't, because do things truly matter? Or do, because it doesn't matter that you don't. This is a gross oversimplification of nihilism. Just a reminder, everyone, we are raising money for the Video Game History Foundation, and also there is going to be a giveaway. Very excited for some nihilism here, but we are going to be moving on to Gates of the Bosphorus, which is an overhaul mod for really just kind of the entire Balkan region, but focusing in particular on Greece. We got the short little description here of Gates of the Bosphorus is a historical flavor mod that aims to add historical context to the new mechanics to represent the complex situations that encompass the Eastern question and Tanzimat reforms. That is, I believe, Greece and also Turkey. And the spread of nationalism across the Balkans and Ottoman Empire at large. The mod has a wide scope, ranging from the Balkans to the Ottoman Empire, across the Levant and into Northern Africa. And we've played this mod a little bit. It's been a hot minute since we have, but I do think it really adds a whole lot to the vanilla experience. And so, without further ado, we have Gates of the Bosphorus coming in here.
At the dawn of the Victorian Age, the Eastern Mediterranean is in a state of fragile peace. The Ottoman Empire, centered at Constantinople, has struggled to adapt to the Industrial Age. In the Balkans, Greek, Serbian, and Romanian nationalists have established varying degrees of independence and autonomy from the Sultan, while the empire's hold over its African territories grows weaker by the day. Within the imperial court, a battle is being fought over the future of any reforms to the empire. Gates of the Bosphorus is a historical flavor mod that dives into this eastern question, from the nations of the Balkans to the Ottoman Empire. Greece, in 1836, is a young nation. Fresh off a civil war, the country is ruled by a Bavarian king, and most of its would-be citizens remain under Ottoman rule. Internally, the country suffers from political instability. The young king, Otto von Wittelsbach, seeks to emulate his father in establishing autocratic rule. Opposing him is the majority of the Greek political space, who view this as an affront to the ideals of the revolution. With the emergence of the Greek state has come another question. What is a Greek? Greece has been founded on the precept of a Hellenic identity, with roots in the ancient past that has been dormant for millennia. Meanwhile, many Greeks across the Aegean see themselves as heirs to a rich history that has evolved under successive empires. Across the wider Balkans, unrest is brewing as nationalist ideals entrench themselves amongst the various subjects of the Ottomans. Montenegro stands as a last holdout against Ottoman conquest, maintaining its tenuous independence. The Prince Bishop, Peter II, is focused on dragging his people kicking and screaming into the modern age. Despite this, the tribes of Montenegro are in many ways stronger than the state, and tribal raids and feuds are commonplace. Complicating this, the Montenegrin state itself is dependent on raiding to sustain itself, which endangers its relationship with its guarantor, Russia. Serbia, like Greece, is fresh off fighting the empire for their autonomy. Internally, the country is divided by the dynastic feud between the Obrenović dynasty and the Karađorđević dynasty. The ruler, Miloš, is intent on abandoning the throne in protest over the imposition of democratic limits on his authority. Meanwhile, Alexander Karađorđević is wasting no time in building up a political base with which to mount a coup. Beyond these two Slavic nations, the pan-Yugoslav movement has begun to take form. With solutions ranging from a federation to loose alliances, the ideal of a Yugoslav state, independent of any foreign powers, has slowly begun to take center stage. The Romanian people enter the Industrial Age divided between the Ottoman, Russian, and Austrian empires. The Principalities angle for independence from the Turks with Russian support, while Transylvania fights to retain its autonomy in the face of intensifying autocratic efforts from Vienna. Under the direct control of Constantinople, the Bulgarian and Albanian peoples anxiously await their chance at independence. The Ottoman Empire finds itself at a critical juncture. Weakened by a string of military defeats and revolutions, the empire is seen as doomed to failure. Yet the empire is not as weak as it appears. From within the court at Constantinople, the Tanzimat, or reordering, has gained momentum as an effort to modernize and unify the empire. However, Ottoman leaders are deeply divided on the identity of the empire and the scale of reforms. Time is limited for the empire, as it is far too late to contain the spread of nationalist thought, even amongst the Turks themselves. Closest to Constantinople is the treacherous Bosnian Ali Pasha Rizvanbegović. Ambitious to a fault, Ali Pasha has declared himself the Sultan in Mostar and seeks little more than to break free from the Sultan and settle his feud with the Montenegrins. Along the empire's eastern fringe are the tribes of Kurdistan. Fiercely independent and far from the court of Constantinople, the Kurds continue to defy direct control by the Sultan. On the southeastern shores of the Mediterranean lie the Ottoman's African subjects. Chief among these is Egypt, ruled by the rebellious Pasha, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali firmly believes the Ottoman Empire is dying and has set upon a mission to construct a successor empire fully independent of any power in Constantinople. Muhammad Ali has also recognized the need for modernization and has desperately pushed for Egypt to industrialize before the Europeans return. Across the Mediterranean from Constantinople is the Ottomans' province in Libya. From Tripoli and Benghazi, the Ottomans attempt to project their influence into the Sahara. The Libyan administration has little power outside of its major settlements, and Turkish forces frequently find themselves accosted by the Bedouins of the desert. Further west, the Beylik of Tunis has remained ever faithful to the Sultan. However, the heir Ahmad Bey has seen the threat of French colonization and seeks to strike a middle ground between loyalty to Constantinople and peace with Europe. Several situations also require the attention of countries in the Eastern Mediterranean. Foremost among these is the worsening situation in the Balkans. Nationalism has taken root in the Balkans, and its influence grows with every year. Between phases of escalation and de-escalation, countries must navigate the complexities of the Balkans. In the Adriatic, pirates from Albania have terrorized merchants for generations. Emboldened by the weakening power of Constantinople, these outlaws have become bolder and represent a menace to the entirety of the Adriatic. Deep in the Sahara, the Sufist Senussi movement has begun gaining traction with its message of restraint and austerity. While the movement is disorganized, it is difficult to ignore its anti-imperialist undertones. Overall, Gates of the Bosphorus aims to add historical context to what was one of the most volatile areas of the European continent in the 1800s. Thank you for watching.
All right. Looks like they've added quite a bit since we've last taken a look. Saw some content even as far as Tunis and the Sahara. This is one of those mods that's like a sort of vanilla plus mod that I think in general, if I'm playing in the region, I probably just am disinterested in not using the mod. Patch notes on the workshop are empty. Womp womp. That's not ideal. And so, just a little reminder, we are raising money for the Video Game History Foundation. We do have kind of a little bit more time. They told me I yapped too fast, but I said if I yap too fast... Or wait, how's it go? They say I yap too fast, but maybe if you listen a little faster, I would have to slow down for you to catch up, something like this. And so we do have a little bit more time on our hands. That said, we are also doing a giveaway where we will be giving away, I think, 6 keys for the premium edition of EU5 over the course of the stream. We will have 3 about halfway through and another 3 later. We do have links in the comments to both of these things for anyone who is interested. And we will be kind of continuing on after we burn a little bit more time. So how's everyone doing today? Are we excited about the mods? I'm excited about the mods. Definitely like that one. Another one that's like that, I think we don't have scheduled for today, but like a good vanilla plus mod is the US mod. I forget the name of it, but that one's really good as well. Yeah, it's not scheduled for us today. I think they did a presentation last year, but not this year. If anyone remembers the name of that mod, feel free to drop it in the comments. But this next one we have coming on up is Interwar, which is a timeline kind of movement mod where lead your nation through 2 world wars and the turbulent years between. We have the new timeline, 50 years, 1910 through 1960, and we have someone editing the document as we're looking at it, not like this. But there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff in here. Obviously, there's going to be, I think, switching between a whole bunch of new texts and this type of stuff that comes with this, new technologies, yes, and then it is also compatible with a lot of other mods. That's very interesting. Usually this types of overhaul is a little bit less like that, but let's take a look at Interwar.
Interwar 1910 to 1960 is a large-scale immersive campaign mode simulating 20th century history. The interwar period is its richest, most polished, and most representative timeline. From the gunshot in Sarajevo, the humiliation of the Treaty of Versailles, the panic of the Great Depression, to the collapse of colonial empires, from the sparks of the 1911 revolution in China to the smoke of the Russian Civil War, from the vision of the League of Nations to the descent of the Cold War's Iron Curtain. It casts off the chains of old empires and ignites the flames of national self-determination. You either survive under the totalitarian rule of the Frances or rise in the red tides of the Soviets. You are no longer a bystander by the history. You are the writer who changes it. Here you can experience brand new technologies, building slows, and an ultra-long campaign enriched with a wealth of labor content. As Marshal Ferdinand Foch said, this is not a peace, it is an armistice for 20 years. In 1910, revolutions break out in Portugal and Mexico, and Japan annexes Korea. Then, the 1911 revolution overthrows the Qing dynasty. Next come the Italo-Turkish War and the two Balkan Wars. Finally, in 1940, the First World War erupts. Then followed the Arab Revolt, the October Revolution, the dissolution of Austria-Hungary. Germany surrendered, and the end of World War I. For empires collapse, the world order is reshaped. In 1919, the Treaty of Versailles burdens Germany with hundreds of billions of gold marks in reparations. In the following years, Mussolini marches on Rome. The Great Depression brings the Nazis to power in Germany. From 1935 onward, global tensions escalate. The Italo-Ethiopian War, the Spanish Civil War, the Marco Polo Bridge Incident War engulfs multiple continents. Starting with the Antilles, Germany and the Soviet Union began rapid expansion. In 1939, Germany invades Poland, and World War II fully erupts. After the fall of France, Germany invades the Soviet Union. Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. The Allied anti-fascist coalition is formed. The war finally ends with over 80 million casualties. In 1945, the smoke of war clears. The Iron Curtain speech marks the beginning of the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union. India, Israel, Indonesia, and other nations gain independence, but peace does not fully arrive. The Greek Civil War, the Chinese Civil War, and the Korean War break out one after another. With the establishment of NATO and the Warsaw Pact, the old colonial system of the great powers has already crumbled.
All right. I don't think I cut that off. Yeah. So that is the Interwar mod. One thing that actually attracted me about Victoria 3 was the fact that they don't have the level of micro on the fronts, that the fronts are really hands-off. And I think about this in the context of, World War II, and obviously the comparison to Hoey. But with that, I think I would prefer the combat system, and then you have the before and the after, and so really, really cool mod idea, especially if you want to play that time period, but without the, emphasis on the actual war, and more of the Victoria 3 emphasis on both the political realities and also the economy. It turned into a Hoey stream, Hoey 5 confirmed. It's always what people talk about is like Victoria 3 but with the Hoey combat system, but I'm not a huge fan of I like Victoria 3's combat system. But we are going to be having the giveaway, and I think that we want to do the giveaway before Morgan wrote, or our first batch, so everyone who wants to be eligible for double the drawings, make sure you enter your name into the giveaway before then, because we are going to be going through one more mod and then we will be doing, before Morgan wrote, the giveaway. We also, if you feel like giveaway, are supporting a charity for the Video Game History Foundation. We've kind of talked about it a little bit, but we, of course, have new people in the chat, this type of thing, and so they are doing a whole bunch of stuff to help support the history of video games, including a library, keeping things like not just physical copies of the game, digital copies of the game, but also media, various media around the game, stuff like magazines, this type of stuff. They are scanning these types of documents so that you can kind of keep the history of video games alive, especially with digital assets. I think the danger of completely losing some of these things is relatively high. Especially with some of the things that video games are doing now, where they're kind of cutting off, or not video games, publishers are doing, where they're kind of cutting off access to some of these later things. But that is a bit of a discussion for another time, another stream, this type of thing. Here's the schedule. I think that we are a little bit ahead of schedule, but we are going to be taking a look at Formable Nations Plus, which has a fairly intuitive, kind of thing, or fairly intuitive idea, is there's going to be more formable nations, more flags, more releasable nations as well. The description on it in my document is wrong, but that's okay, because we know what it's about. It is about, of course, more formable nations. Let's take a look.
History is a fickle thing, constantly changing by the empires of its time. Caesar, Alexander, Charlemagne, all thought themselves immortal, but the only truth is that all shall fall. But like the phoenix, ideas can resurface. Who will you remember?
Alright, and we are back. I think I'm going to be getting some names of people that are going to be getting... Alright, so, we're gonna do it, we're gonna spin the wheel ourselves. Do we have the website that we're spinning the wheel for? One moment. Solving logistics here. I have a list of names. A list of names of you who have entered into the drawing. And so let's take a look here in terms of what we are doing. We're spinning the wheel. Do we have the website that we're spinning the wheel on? I don't want to enter in random words with spin on the internet. I've learned my lesson. Wheel of names. Perfect. Okay. I've learned my lesson. So I think we're doing 3 now and 3 later. And so... let's add a bunch of names. We will take Beatrice and Ali out of here, and then we will show you what we're looking at. That way you can see what we're looking at, which includes ads off to the side. We'll close those first, and then we will have this. Let's see if we can slide this over so you guys can see we have a whole bunch of things. We can even shuffle them before we spin it. And so for the first one, I do believe we have 3. Hopefully we have 3. We're going to spin 3 times. You will be contacted on Discord. If you do not respond on Discord, they will have a hard time giving you the key. But the first winner is Ka-Oz. congratulations on your new copy of digital media, which of course you can help support the preservation of digital media with the charity off to the side, but we will remove you because you have already been chosen. You are the chosen one of the first, which, you know, first the burst. Wait. Yeah, first place. Not first the worst, second the same, third the best of all the game, or perhaps we will take a second spin. I do not have a confirmation that we have giving away 3, so maybe giving away myself into trouble. But we have Hehe Goas, JJ Goas. Not sure how it's pronounced, but it is a pronounced giveaway. We will be removing you from the wheel. You have been chosen to be removed with a free copy. He will be removed from Discord now. Womp womp. Not like this. And then we will have one more here before we go on to one of my favorite mods, Morgenroth. Little suspense. This is going to be, for everyone who is already in the giveaway, this right here is your best chance. I don't want to inspire fear of missing out, except I do a little bit, but this is your best chance to win because more names are going to get added. And because more names are going to get added and how probability works, this is going to be your best chance. One shot, one opportunity, one chance to win a free copy of EU5 Premium Edition. Can we make this spin slower? We actually should give, like, epilepsy warning. We have Aikut. Hey! Congratulations on your copy. FOMO? Yeah, it's our favorite. Alright, so that is going to be the winners, but if you didn't put in your name fast enough, keep putting your name in, because we are going to be doing another giveaway towards the end of the stream. We now are going to be continuing on with Morgenroth. After that, we will be doing our Kahoot competition, which is going to be a little bit of trivia based on the mods we've seen so far. I am a huge fan of Morgenroth. I think that Morgenroth, and I'm excited to see what's changed. Morgenroth in some ideas, or in some... I think that Morgenroth is kind of like the future of Vic 3 in terms of where Vic 3 should go in terms of the vanilla. This mod covers a whole bunch of different other categories for winning. Currently in Victoria 3, there's only one way to win, and that's to increase your GDP as much as possible. Some people paint the map, some people say it's construction. It's number go big. And what Morgenroth brings is a bunch of other axes upon which you can judge your nation. Stuff like culture, sports, sciences, archaeology. Shout out to Great Britain. Shout out to stealing people's history. Speaking of history, if you want to help preserve video game history, we are, of course, doing a fundraiser for Video Game History Foundation, preserving history so that Great Britain doesn't steal it. And so that, of course, is everyone's favorite. But with Morgenroth, there will be plenty of history to be had during this time period. And I really do kind of like that you can try and compete culturally in this type of thing. And so without further, how do you pronounce it? Glazing, we do have the Morgenroth mod.
My interest in microbiology was sparked at an early age when my grandparents introduced me to the microscope. The wonders this tool showed me was simply incredible. A whole cosmos that we could not see. So, after less than a semester of studying philology, I decided to switch to medicine. I had great teachers like Meissner and Hasse. I even solved a prize question created by Krause. After finishing my studies, I even got the chance to study a little bit with Rudolf Virchow, one of the greater scientists of the period. What followed were years as a doctor, both in hospitals and in a doctor's office in a rural area of Germany. when the war started in 1870, I could not just idly watch it. I had to help my fatherland. In the military, I treated dysentery and typhus and got important experience. After the war, I joined Germany as an official doctor. But my real calling wasn't the life as a bureaucrat. It was what I did in my scarce free time, to study bacteria and other microorganisms. Especially a bacterium later called Bacillus anthracis was of great interest to me. What followed was a shift of my work away from being a physician to becoming a microbiologist. And the same way as there was a rivalry between Germany and France, I had a rivalry with the French microbiologist Pastures. In 1883, we both of us journeyed to Alexandria to find the cause of cholera, but only one of us could be successful. Of course, it was me. I found Vibrio cholerae, and not this nasty Frenchman who likes wine more than his research. But I did even more for science. I introduced various new innovations to microbiology like poor culture, staining, asepsis, and I even found the organism causing tuberculosis. Thanks to all of my great deeds, I was given a new institute and the title of professors. However, not everyone was happy about that. Yes, Pasteur had some successes as well. A vaccine for rabies and pasteurization being named after him. But in the end, it was me who received the ultimate victory of science, a Nobel Prize. However, that was after my former rival died. Myself, I was quite popular in the world. I was even invited to travel to the United States many times, but only once did I accept, just to travel. Now, in 1910, as I am close to death, I wonder how I will be remembered in the world. I do wonder what other great innovations Germany will bring into the world after my death. Hopefully, both me and Germany will forever be remembered for our contributions to science. And no matter what, I know that I have saved lives, and my work will continue to save lives as long as humanity exists.
I hope you enjoyed our little trailer. I would like to thank the YouTuber and modder Dean Webb, who is also known as An Economist Plays, for voicing Koch, as well as my wife for composing the music and playing the viola for the recording. The Biologist was one of our biggest additions in this year, but there were many more things that we worked on. We added various building models including an observatory, an archaeological museum, and the opera house. We revisited various parts of Morgenröte like the transatlantic cable, sports, mountaineering, and the publishing industry's events. Sports and mountaineering in particular were reworked a lot, and you can now even have clubs playing against each other in your notifications. We also added compatibility to the expanded top bar framework, so you can now see your Morgenröte values more easily. Another huge improvement are the translations that were improved by many people through our various paratrans projects. The Chinese and German translations are already complete, but for the others we are always looking for more help. We also added roughly 1,000 historical characters, which brings us to over 1,700 historical characters. And if you want to help us adding some more, you can always add them to our wishlist. Most academics and artists now have default projects, so they actually do something even if you forget to send them on a project. We also added automation to many of our characters, which reduces your workload a little. During this year we also worked on improving performance multiple times, and Morgenröte now runs faster than ever before. Another new addition were time zones and various things related to time, such as a standard time for the world. Astronomy also got a tiny addition in the form of centaurs. Another huge improvement was the rework of the pop-ups that you get when you send your characters on projects to improve states or buildings. These projects now allow you to queue multiple buildings or states, so you don't have to micromanage as much anymore. Speaking of projects, the electrical engineer can now also improve power plant buildings. Did you ever wonder which masterworks your composers created? Well, that is now also possible, as we now save them. With the 1.13 update we got a huge character rework which allowed us to add our own roles. So now your academics and artists are no longer just politicians. This also allowed us to finally make academics available for other countries as well. We also added various new archaeological regions with additional major artifacts and events. We went back to archaeology because we also totally reworked anthropology to work better and be more historically accurate. Uranium now is also a resource instead of a hacky resource, which means that you can now also see it on the resource map. But the biggest changes you will notice are the graphics. We replaced the AI loading screens by loading screens created by Angel, and also replaced most of the technology icons. These loading screens are not only useful as loading screens, but they also work for other purposes like journal entries and event videos. But before I talk more about that, I would like to give you a little preview of what's up next. You might already have noticed one thing in the trailer. Surely you have seen the loading screens or event video for the Nobel Prize. We plan to add the Nobel Prize as soon as we have all the necessary scientists for it, which means we have to add the physicist. The physicists, who will also include mathematicians, are going to be our second last academic. The last academic will be the ethnologist. Apart from that, we also plan some minor changes in the near future. For example, we want to have one license for all the cases instead of a mountaineering license, an archaeological license, a botanical charter, and so on and so on. Additionally, we also want to rework the Schneider Trophy race. And speaking of that, I actually have a really nice looking loading screen for it. Let me use this loading screen as a chance to tell you more about the Schneider Trophy. The Schneider Trophy, or correctly Coupe d'Aviation Maritime Jacques Schneider, was a race for seaplanes and flying boats founded by Jacques Schneider. Schneider was an engineer, balloonist, and pilot of early planes, as well as the grandson of Adolphe Schneider, the founder of the Société Schneider et Cie, a company which later constructed the first French tank. Anyway, in 1912 Schneider founded the race with a price of about £1,000. The race was first held annually, later biannually. With the race, he wanted to spur the development of amphibious planes, which so far lagged behind land-based planes. The first race took place in 1930 in Monaco, and consisted of 6 laps with a total distance of 300 kilometers, and was won by a French plane. One rule of the race was that once a country had won the trophy 3 times in a row, the race would no longer be held and the winning nation would keep the physical trophy forever. Both the US and Italy nearly achieved this feat, but neither of them was able to win the third race. Then, in 1931, Great Britain was close. They won the trophy in both 1927 and 1929, which meant that only one more victory was missing. In the meantime, Italy constructed the Macchi MC-72, which would hold the speed record for airplanes for 1 year and still holds the record for piston engine-powered seaplanes. The British, on the other hand, had designed the Supermarine S-6B. Both airplanes are visible in the loading screen, which was created by Angel. The loading screen, however, took some artistic liberties. For one, the race was not held in Venice, but in Great Britain, as it always took place in the last country to win the trophy. And the 2 planes did not actually compete in the 1931 race. The Macchi could not compete due to engine problems, which meant the Supermarine was able to win, and Great Britain ended the competition. The original plan of Schneider was very successful though. The planes used were groundbreaking and allowed airplanes to improve a lot. The Supermarine Spitfire was designed by the same engineer who designed the S-6B. The American Mustang and the Italian Macchi C202 Folgore profited a lot from the innovations of the Schneider Trophy races as well. And as I mentioned, the Macchi MC-72 still holds the speed record for piston engine-powered seaplanes. But now let us go back to Morgenröte once more. Currently, the Schneider Trophy is mostly event-driven. This means that it sometimes randomly ceases to exist and that there are some other issues. My goal for it is to create a new context-less journal entry for all countries and use that to control the actual races. Additionally, I want to add a current ranking that changes dynamically. So basically you would see all nations and see how they are doing in the current race. This would not only allow you to keep track of the current race, but also for it to just be more stable in general. And I might be able to add some fancy graphics and even some fancy particle effects, which I previously used in some other journal entries. Which brings me to another side note. We are currently also working on a rework for the Scientific Congresses, which is done by Alex Adichie, the mother behind Gates of the Bosphorus. So you will soon see even more fancy journal entries. And that's it for our presentation. Thank you all for watching, and if you want to stay updated, support us with your expertise, your translation skills, or help us finance some more loading screens, join our Discord. And now, enjoy the rest of MODCON.
The rest of MODCON, at least our section, of course, being up here. I did want to take a moment to thank some of our donors, or actually thank all of our donors. Well, actually thank all but one of our donors, but we'll circle back to that. First of all, Lord R, thank you for the 520 Swiss francs. That is huge. That is massive. That is especially massive because I've been told by the organizers of MODCON that the YouTuber who raises the least amount of money will have to walk the plank. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm still trying to understand exactly what that entails, but I prefer to not walk the plank. Thank you also, Samuel, for the $20 Canadian. Much appreciated. And then also, and this is perhaps the most important one, which of course is, well, they're all important. Shout out to the loud car outside. They're all important, but this one's the funniest one to emphasize. Thank you to Anonymous. Everyone at Anonymous, give them a special thanks, a special round of applause. Much appreciated, as much as we like to joke about Anonymous. It's jokey because it stands out. Thank you so very much. Lord R, of course, is also the person who is responsible for Morgan Road. I do believe we are doing a Kahoot call with him. Feel free. Targus is in the lead currently. Currently, Midgeman has to walk the plank. Yeah. Well, you could throw me the call, and we can do the Kahoot. I do think I have it set up so that I don't accidentally leak anything on the places. And we will get into it. But the charity is the Video Game History Foundation, helping to preserve video game history. Or I could call him. Yeah, Jillian started things out. We do have the VODs for the previous mods, especially if you're interested in CK3, you can check out Jillian's, which was on Friday, Tarkus's, which was yesterday, featuring Victoria 3 and CK3. We had Midgeman also yesterday with all the EU5 things, and now we have a call coming in. Hello, hello? Test. Oh no, it's the thing where my settings changed. Not like this. Not happening live. This is terrible. Our speaker is set to somehow say something?
Yeah, hello.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Do you want to share screen?
Yes, wait a second. I just have to make sure the audio is muted because I have no clue if this would cause a copyright strike, and I did that last year.
Yeah, we don't like that. We don't like it when YouTube... the punishment's a nice vacation. Yeah, what if the plank is just a diving board?
Here it should be.
Okay, and then... And now we will share the... Okay, we have the Kahoot on screen.
Very good. So I will just say something about it at the beginning. There will be 12 questions about MODCON, and they will be about different mods, about MODCON itself, and there will also be 2 feedback questions that don't count for the score. And it's best to use your Discord name, because I have a Victoria 3 new player's choice key, which I bought, and a Paradox, because they told us we can't give it away in a Kahoot. So that one is for me, and you can win that.
Why couldn't they give away a key and a key from the devs in a Kahoot?
I think there is like laws about it in Sweden, so they are not legally allowed to.
It's a illegal gamble?
I have no clue, honestly, but hopefully I won't be arrested for giving it away in a Kahoot.
Certainly not. That'd be difficult to prosecute or something like this. I'm trying to give people a little bit of time to join in with your, of course, Discord name, preferably. How much time do we want to let them come in, or should we only reward people who are very fast?
I think we let them have a little more time, maybe like a minute or two.
A minute or two? Okay.
Yes. Oh, I can say something else about the Kahoot. So usually you don't see the questions and answers on your device, but because YouTube is a little lagging behind, I activated it, so you should see the answers and the questions on your device. But that also means sometimes when I explain something or say something, it's going to be after you actually see the questions.
Gotcha. That does make sense. Who do you think is most likely to walk the plank currently of the YouTubers?
That's a good question. I mean, it really depends on how much money Mitch will raise in his stream.
Yeah.
But I think usually the Crusader King streams have way more viewers, so I guess he should be safe.
Should probably. He also has 2 days. I think it's either me
That's
or
true.
Tarkus then, probably.
Well, I guess we will see.
Indeed. Well, it's been a couple 2 minutes, or wait, no.
Mhm.
It's been about 2 minutes, so I think we can get started.
Okay, then let's start.
Alright, if you did not get in here in time, you are too slow. This looks like a scam. Not a scam.
So the first one is a true or false question. Hopefully everyone will answer this one right, because it was all over the stream all the time. Okay, that makes me happy. Most of the people knew it. So this is the 5th edition, and it's the 3rd time that MODCON also has Victoria 3 featured, and the first time we have EU 5.
Yes.
But now let's get to the next question, which people hopefully will also be able to answer. Wait, first ranking.
Ooh, they get more score for time?
Yes, the faster you are, the more points you get. Oh, and I think I have 3 questions that give double points a little later, so
Ooh,
that might
keep
help
things interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue. This one is about the charity, so hopefully people remember it.
I feel like I plugged it several times.
Yeah, I think you did a good job in this case, yeah. So, looks like not a lot changed. So, oh, as we just spoke of the charity, don't forget to donate so we can save your life, right?
Yes, well, it depends what I'm jumping into. If we lose, and perhaps if it's walk the plank is just, it's negative, right? But if it's a plank into a tub full of puppies, actually, then you would be saving the puppies, because if Tarkus lands on the puppies may live. If I land on the puppies, the puppies will die.
I hope it's not puppies then, or that you have enough donations. So people, we also have to save the puppies. Donate more.
No, not the puppies.
Okay, the next question you should also be able to answer because it was mentioned in my video. I hope they know it. But it looks like most people were very quick answering it, so...
Yeah, I think you're in good shape here.
Yeah, that's a pretty good result.
Now, is the Curtis
Well done,
Cup an
people.
actual thing?
What was an actual thing?
Is the Curtis Cup an actual thing?
I don't think so. Wait, maybe it's the name of the actual physical thing you get, like the trophy itself, but I'm not sure.
Because my last name was Curtis with 2 S's. I don't know if that's coincidence.
I think it should be with 2 S because his name was Curtis was an engineer for airplanes in the US.
I wonder if I'm related to him. I might be related to that guy.
Okay, let's continue with the next question, which is about one of our hosts, and you have to write it in. one might be harder.
I think this one will be tricky because we did not cover CK3, and I don't play a ton of CK3.
It's true. Hopefully they watch the other MODCON streams too.
Yeah.
Like you should, because MODCON is just awesome, no matter which game.
Yeah, to plug the other content creators, we have Jillian, Tarkus, Midgeman.
Oh, only 7 correct answers. Ui.
Well, I mean, only one correct answer, right?
Well, we don't know, because he said to me that it depends on his mood how many Arcuses he adds, so they are all technically correct.
I do like to joke that it's Tarkus Arcusar for short.
And for long, it's like 1,000 of
Yeah,
Arcusars?
exactly. It's like pi.
Okay. Now, the next one is about the history of MODCON. First, well, this time a lot changed, I guess.
Persian and Lee.
But let's continue. You have to figure out in which year the first MODCON took place.
This might require math.
Which if you... Yeah, right, if you're good at math, you should know it. Hopefully.
Now, if this is... Should I throw people off? If this was the third MODCON, that... Confusing the audience.
Yeah. So 2021 is correct because that was the year, obviously, and it was hosted and organized by one proud Bavarian, as far as I heard. I didn't watch it. I actually only started watching at the 3rd edition.
Some deep lore. When did OPB stop being an organizer for it?
I think he only did the first, but maybe Kaiser can write it in the chat. Well, let's look at the ranking. Now nothing changed. So I guess we go to the next question, which was also mentioned in this stream, so hopefully people still know it.
Got the sweet ambiance of the ambulance in the background.
Exactly. I asked if they had wanted to add a specific image, and they said, no, it's fine like that.
They said no, it doesn't matter?
Yeah,
Classic.
Basically. Which is very on point, I guess. So, now we get the ranking again, and then there is a feedback question, so that one doesn't give any points. It changed a little. I see Cybrix Khan is very good, probably because he watches all of MODCON. Okay, feedback time. You have to write what part of MODCON you enjoyed the most so far.
Now, just a reminder, Lord R is the maker of Morgan Roads, and there's only one correct answer.
Sorry, I couldn't understand you that well.
Here, I think maybe...
I wonder... Oh, it's already done. Ha! I win!
There we go.
Obviously, people say that because they think maybe it's still bonus points if I write the right thing in there.
Is it?
No, there are no bonus points.
Ah.
So, let's continue. This one you have to, like, put the little thingy on the right spot and figure out how many historical characters Morgenröte has right now. And I mentioned a number in the video, so hopefully people also Remember that.
Well, with a floor of 1,000, that's a lot of history.
I mean, it's surely one person because we saw Koch. So
It's at least one.
I guess you could count them now, but it would probably take a little longer than the time you have.
Yeah, we'll get to learn a little bit more about Morgan roads later. So they get points based on how close they are?
Yes, I think in the blue part you get points, and the closer you are, the more points.
That's a good way to... do
I
you get any
tricked them,
extra
I
points
said-
for answering this one faster? Probably not.
I'm not sure. But I know that I tricked them a little bit because I said over 1,700 in the video. So it wasn't really clear, but I went into the game files and looked at it, and it was 1,722. I hope that number is correct, but it should be. So...
Ooh!
The ranking changed. We have a new front-runner. But everything can change because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more questions, I think.
And are these the bonus points questions?
2 more have bonus points, yes.
Okay.
This one is a very mean one. I don't think anyone, except maybe for Miss Deuce, will get it right.
Well, I mean, 25%.
True, and if you're smart enough, you can probably even kind of cheat a little if you look at the question very well. On the other hand, if you press the button color of the button instead of the word that it says, then you might fail.
Is Beiyang alternate form of spelling of Beijing? It's not, right?
I think it's I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's like the official variant.
Gotcha.
Or maybe an older one. We would have to ask Miss Deuce. I'm sure she can answer. And she also has a video, I think, very soon, with really nice-looking uniforms. So stay in this stream and watch it.
Do like the uniforms.
So...
Aha!
Okay. That's a little unfair. She knew it.
We have a ringer.
Let's continue with the next question, which is about yesterday's stream. Maybe some people also watched that one.
Is the picture related?
Yes, it's the island that dodos come from. I don't remember the name right now. I should have written that down, but I forgot. Yay! Lots
There
of
we go.
people got it right.
That is the flavor mod for EU5, for those of you who are interested. That is, was compared a little to Morgan Road. I don't think the scope is as broad at this point.
No, it's probably because Uber now also works for Paradox, and I think he doesn't have a lot of free time anymore.
That'll do it.
But I told him I want to see a zoo in his mod too. Because saving the dodo would just be amazing, right?
Yeah, I hear it was delicious.
Not for eating, for the zoo. So Miss Deuce is still in the lead.
Oh, I thought you said
and we
soup.
have... What? Soup? No, zoo. Zoo. Okay, we have one more question, then feedback, and then the last 2 questions which give double points. This one here, you have to put the pin on the correct spot on the schedule of tomorrow's show. For another very impressive mod.
Now, if they put a pin on Midgeman's face, is that also correct?
No,
Or
only the right spot. You
Does-
have to put it, like, the text and the icon count.
Does this mean that Midgeman is not beautiful?
He is not the mod, the beautiful game.
Okay. A beautiful man, but not a beautiful game. I understand.
Yeah, probably. So, most people found it. That's great. And you should watch it because...
Did someone have a
because
picture
that
of
mod
it?
is really cool. There is a picture to the left of it, yes.
Okay. Someone got the wrong picture. Someone had the funny answer, which was Midgeman.
Yeah, was that you?
No. But that's what I would have done, even though it's probably
okay.
not correct.
Let's look at who is frontrunner now. Well, it looks like nothing changed. So we continue with the feedback question. Here you have to, tell us how much you enjoy MODCON this year.
I always like using scales that are not normal scales. On a scale of 7 to 34. How much did you enjoy MODCON this year?
Yeah, I could have done that actually. I think you can, change it.
Confusing the audience.
Yeah, true. So, I have to click on show the answer. Well, it looks good. I guess we did a good job. It would have been really bad for us if all of them would have put it on 1, I guess.
Another thing
but luckily no one did.
If they were overwhelmingly 1, then people should also reconsider the way that they're... If it's a 1, you should probably click away. There's some selection bias, right?
Yeah.
But...
So, the next question is the second last question, and it gives double the points again. So, now you have to answer correctly. And it's a hard one.
That's my favorite.
I'm looking forward to this one. Because it's a hard one.
Did you know that JRR stands for Jolkin, Rolkin, Rolkin, Tokon?
Very interesting. Did you know that the picture you see in the background is the Lauterbrunnen Valley in Switzerland?
I did not.
That's where he had the idea for Rivendell.
It's very beautiful.
Right?
Elrond is my least favorite Lord of the Rings character.
Ha! I tricked some people. Because it's definitely not in Realms in Exile. That mod is just based on his works, but the actual character is in Morgenröte.
That's a little tricky.
Yeah, I know. But it seems like I couldn't trick enough people. 19 still got it right.
Now, there are stats for writers. What stats did you give Tolkien?
I think he's a fantasy writer, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's romantic, because he obviously was kind of romantic. You
hear a lot about trees.
Basically wanted to be a hobbit himself. So, it looks like Miss Deuce is still in the lead. Someone needs to defeat her, otherwise she wins. Which is
true.
Quite possible with the next question, and I think Cybrix Khan will have a huge advantage here. It's one of those questions again, where you have to put it in the right spot. And this one is basically just guessing, except for Cybrix Khan.
Now, struggle is a mechanic for CK3, but what if you really struggle with flavor?
Huh. Well, then you are in a struggle in rice, because rice is a flavor mod and you're struggling with it, right?
Yes. How much flavor does rice have?
I think a lot. Like, this was, they just released the they will release the trailer for the 45th flavor pack, I think.
That's a lot of flavor.
Yeah. And you should totally watch it in midstream after this stream.
Yes, there will be another one.
No one got it right. Interesting. But a few people got it kind of right.
They got it close.
So
it's the best type of right.
I think we have to look at the winner now, right? So, podium. 3rd place, Cybrix Khan. 2nd place, The Gig.
Then we probably know which one's first.
Yeah. It's Miss Deuce, but it's like by 106 points. And I guess if she already has the key, then it will get handed down, and it depends on who doesn't have Victoria 3.
Makes
and
sense.
That person will get it, I guess.
Well, you don't have to guess. It's your key to give out, right? You make the rules.
Yeah, that's true, actually. But I will ask everyone if they already have it. Now I just need to figure out where I'm... Oh, here. I have to stop sharing this screen, I guess.
Oop.
Because that was our Kahoot.
My Discord.
Sorry.
I was gonna switch the window capture before you did that.
So thanks everyone for participating in this Kahoot. And I will go back to the chat, I guess, and moderate some more. And I think we see each other again at the end of the stream, right?
We have what at the end of the stream?
The Mod Jam, right?
Yes. That's part of the stream.
Yes. And I will probably be back because I worked on it too. And I really hope they finished it by now.
We'll see. Tell them there's a pun in there somewhere for me, but I can't think of it. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Well, you have to investigate if it's finished.
You will have to investigate. It can be a little bit of a froggy situation, I hear.
Yeah, true.
The construction of mods.
I guess I leave you now.
Yes.
And see you later.
Unless some last minute ads or shoutouts or etceteras.
Yeah.
No.
Bye.
Okay. So we are back into the schedule. And so why don't we take a quick look? We did spoil it, or not spoil it. Can't really spoil charity, but we are raising money for the Video Game History Foundation here, where that is the charity, and they are doing several things to preserve video game history, such as a library, preserving code of the video games, a little bit of public education. They have some media assets, and you can check out their website. It is off to the side if you are interested in helping out. And then also, we have a giveaway. We gave away 2 keys. One person who already had a key entered in again. And so that means that next, and they were not given another key. And so that means next, at the end of the stream, there will be 4 giveaways. So if you are interested in receiving a free copy of the premium version of EU5, then you should come on out or sign up for one of the keys. Or sign up for the giveaway here. And so that is going to be something we're interested in, just doing a quick check, not chick, if there were any donos, and thank you everyone. So without further ado, let's jump in real quick and take a look at the Chinese uniform pack, which, as you might be able to suspect, gives more uniform for the Chinese culture. Let's jump in. Some very nice looking uniforms there. The uniform mods, honestly, I think I just underuse. It's always very cool. Choose your own helmet also seems like a very interesting system. I wonder how exactly that works. We do have a little bit of time here between the mods, before our next mod, a little bit ahead of schedule. And so, just a reminder, we are raising money for the Video Game History Foundation. And this is something that we are doing. They help preserve the history of video games and that type of thing. And we do have several mods upcoming in the community mod framework. The Art of Angels Aren't Real, Pivot of Empire Fixes regarding India, The Great Revision, which is going to be a rework of a bunch of systems, including economy, and Basilia Romeon, which is going to be a rework in terms of the history. We also, just to let everyone know, are doing another drawing for the giveaway. 4 more people are going to be getting keys at the end of the stream, or towards the end of the stream. So if you wanted to sign up for the giveaway, you should do that. That will be good. I think that last year we had a Japanese uniform mod, and that one was pretty neat as well. I think that video was actually very well done in terms of production. Very excited for where Morgan Wrote also goes. We didn't talk too much about it at the end of it because we were jumping into the Kuhu, but I think that the new the character cast system really kind of lends itself well to maybe some things that you can do when having a bunch of artists, scientists, these types of things within your nation, so that you can kind of keep a stable of them, and maybe even they gain more power, and then prominence, I believe, is the name of the mechanic, which this is a bit of an interesting one in terms of maybe that's a hook that you can lend other stuff on. Quick note, this is your first ever video. It's done very well. I enjoyed the music selection too. Unless it was copyrighted, then I didn't enjoy it too much. I think we already tested that. I think the Japanese uniform mod ended up getting added into the Great Wave. Did it really? Very interesting. Also, hello Ham. Welcome, welcome. Ham is a Victoria 3 creator. If you guys want to check out his channel, you can click on his name in chat and check him out. But how's everyone doing today? We should start talking about this next mod. There's usually one of these mods for each of the Paradox games. This is probably the most important mod out of any mod, which is the community mod framework. There's another version of it for EU5. I think that they are generally going to have one of these, and the idea is this is a development of a tool that helps you to stitch mods together better and improve their compatibility, as well as give tools to modders to be able to do more stuff more easily. And so this is going to be something that is useful if you are trying to, have a community of modders and have them do stuff. The description is, this framework mod provides extensible GUI systems, cross-mod detection triggers, and a unified API for injecting political flavor into movements, parties, and laws. So let's take a look at the community mod framework. For those of you who are interested in modding and this type of thing, this one should be especially interesting.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the presentation for the community mod framework. CMF is a community-maintained mod made by modders for modders. This mod is meant to help modders avoid collisions with each other's mods and provide them with several tools to help in their modding experience. I'll be covering several of these elements here, with full documentation available on the GitHub repository. The initial reason for creating CMF was that modders were unable to adequately plan for the presence of other mods in a playset, and had limited avenues for avoiding collisions where both had to edit the same file. The cross-mod detection triggers allow mods to detect each other's presence via a scripted trigger. This works by CMF providing scripted triggers for participating mods that are defaulted to return false. A participating mod can then overwrite their specific trigger to provide an indicator of whether a mod is present or not at runtime. The political movements framework allows for injecting weights for custom ideologies. This is done by inserting a placeholder script value that can be overwritten by your mod downstream. Currently, there is only one political party name entry allowed per party type. The party names framework resolves this by allowing modders to insert their custom party names into a shared entries file in CMF. The Law Visibility framework provides a system of variable checks that allow modders to hide the base game laws without having to collide when editing the visibility of a base game law. CMF contains several event windows and maintains a framework for deconflicting edits to the event windows file. These windows can be called in your events with a GUI window parameter. To aid with potential collisions between mods that want to add buttons to the sidebar, CMF provides a custom sidebar framework. By adding a placeholder ideology to a global list, you can activate a custom button to trigger events and/or show scripted widgets from the sidebar. In the base game, any custom objectives will overflow from the default container. CMF fixes this by adding a scroll bar to allow for seamless addition of new objectives. CMF also contains several custom journal widgets to provide more ways to spice up your journal content. These are injected by being called in your journal entry script and require no prior UI modding experience. The Situations framework is a series of injectable journal widgets that provide an interface inspired by the struggle system from CK3. These entries are all driven by flag variables that give you full control over your situation. The International Situations framework is a UI extension inspired by the international organization mechanics from Europa Universalis 5. This consists of two elements: a sidebar button with a custom side panel and injectable journal widgets. This framework provides several global journal entry groups that will be shown in the side panel once activated. In support of these features, several changes have also been made to the journal portion of the outliner. Situations and organizations have been split into separate groups from normal journal entries. Along with the custom journal elements, CMF also allows you to hide specific elements from the journal UI and to hide entire journal groups from showing up in the journal. Full documentation of all features and their usage is available on the GitHub repository. You can also reach out to the team via the CMF channel on the Victoria 3 modding co-op. Thanks for watching, and happy modding.
And we do have a confirmation that they did show off Community Mod Framework for EU5 in Benjamin's stream yesterday. If you guys wanted to check that out, there will be a VOD, I assume. And so that is going to be something that is good. We are, of course, still raising money for the ModJam charity, for the Video Game History Foundation, preserving video game history. And the giveaway is also in the works. 4 copies of, I think, the complete version of, or the premium version of EU5, if people are interested. That will be done towards the tail end of the stream. Now, community mod frameworks are important for... I don't know a lot about modding, so this is a little bit less my speed. But they are important for modders to be able to do things much easier. And so that is going to be a nice one to focus on. Probably just should be in any sort of mod jam, because I do think a very large section of the audience relative to normal, that's you guys, are modders and this type of thing. But our next one is The Art of Angels Aren't Real. And I believe Angels Aren't Real is the artist. We see the short description here is exploring a pipeline that uses 3D and painterly techniques to bring historical settings to life. And this is an illustrator creating period, accurate, or fantasy loading screens, key art, and event art for major Paradox Interactive mods like The Fallen Eagle, After the End, Morgenrot, and Realms of Exler. Realms of Exler didn't have a what is it, video this year. They had a video last year, very fun fantasy mod if people wanted to check that out. And so why don't we take a look at the art of Angels Aren't Real, the next one coming up. That was my bad. Let's take this from the top. I thought I resized all of these. I believe that the video I received was in 4K, and we don't stream at quite that resolution, so let's try that again. So some very cool art there for a lot of different mods. So if you're a modder and you are interested in their art, you can check that out. And also, if you're interested in doing art like that, feel free to maybe get in touch with them, ask them a little bit about the process, this type of thing. They did leave their socials and stuff at the end of it. I imagine a lot of people who are making art for these mods tend to get scooped up by Paradox. You hate to see it. Another bold modder lost to Paradox Interactive. Shout out to you guys. But it was definitely very, very nice. I really like the dirigible in the Realms of X third piece. But we do have a short little video for Pivot of Empire fixes. Now, Pivot of Empire is India DLC, and the fixes adds and refines a whole bunch of stuff. There's over 100 bug fixes, 10 reworked journal entries, enhanced gameplay for princely states, which I don't think I've played as one of the princely states since Pivot of Empire is released. But a complete reworking of the caste system for better historiosity and gameplay impact. Caste system was an interesting mechanic in that it introduced the ability to assign different professions to interest groups, or not interest groups, lower, upper, middle class, which has interesting ramifications in terms of expected SOL. So kind of interested to know how they may have reworked that. Some clothing fixes, all content reworked to support an independent colonial India, and a flagship feature, complete reworking all India independence content, experience protests and reforms, a sweeping narrative, and an epic scope deserving of India's decades-long struggle for independence. I think India just in general in Paradox games maybe doesn't get as much love as they should, and so kind of excited to see what's going on here with the Pivot of Empire fixes. Very nice. Also, big thanks to Anonymous, our favorite bus, the Anana version, for the huge donation of 200 Swiss francs to the charity we are raising money for. That is the Video Game History Foundation, preserving video game history. Much appreciated. Thank you so very much for your generosity. I almost mispronounced generosity. That would have been terrible. We can maybe take a... do we have enough time to take a quick look at the charity? But we are starting to get, I think, a little bit... No, I think we're about on time here, just a few minutes ahead. And so we are going to be having the Great Revision coming on next in terms of what we have mod-wise. And this is by Sasko. I think Sasko also has a Cold War mod. But we have the Great Revision, which features new economic and political simulation to shape your destiny using new features such as rework, tax, and trade system, and much more. I feel like I've played the Great Revision, or maybe, I can't remember if I played the Great Revision or not. But there's new taxation system, a trade rework, better specialization and global synergies, new laws, institutions, and character interactions, credit and loan rework, the Great Rework, core return and better Diplo play, and other changes. And so I think that this one is a little bit longer, around 6 minutes. So let's jump in and take a look at the Great Revision.
Hello Victorians, I'm Sasko, the creator of the Great Revision, a Victoria free mod. The Great Revision is a mod that wants to improve the vanilla experience, without completely overturning the gameplay. This mod is going to apply numerous small and big changes, particularly on economy and politics. Said that, let's take a closer look to see what the Great Revision can offer. One of the biggest and most important change is the complete overhaul of the budget panel, which replaced the old system with a new one which allow you to tax specific categories of POPs. This gives the player and the AI a big advantage, as now you can choose from which part of your economy you can extract taxes. Every taxation type has different levels, which can be increased or decreased by changing the taxation law of your country. So, when you are planning your strategy, also keep in consideration that once you pass a new law, you will unlock and lock different levels of taxation. This cool feature is not for the player only, as the AI have been instructed to use the new panel specifically to increase their economy and become more competitive, but I will show you better in the next chapter. The Great Revision also introduced an overhaul of the political system, changing the existing law and adding new ones, to help you to shape your nation in different ways. These new additions are, for example, the law related to your foreign policy or the level of centralization of your country. But also you can, for example, create a law that will give tax relief to some sector of your economy, making them more profitable, or, again, use the institution, now named ministries, to give more political strength to specific interest groups or POPs. The Great Revision also introduced new character interaction to boost or suppress different interest groups, helping you to remove or put them in power. You can, for example, increase or decrease their popularity, use an agitator to boost any political movement, boost a party during the election campaign, or make the current leader resign and choose a new one from a scripted list that will change based on the AG taken in consideration. All these tools will be useful for a long term to make your country get a better political direction, or find a solution if, for example, your country remains blocked with the same AG in power for decades. Economy is the core of Victoria 3, and it radically changed in the Great Revision. The focus of the mod is to make nations get a better specialization, so they can focus to produce and export their goods. As per vanilla, companies are the main driver to get a better direction in their specialization, but in the Great Revision this variable has been increased, so now they will concentrate investment in their related sectors. On top of that, the specialized nation will also push their goods in the global market, literally flooding the other markets with their goods, using also tariff and subventions. The key driver for these nations is that they will use subvention to export their goods and import all the others. So, thanks of this, you can expect that the trade volume will be hugely bigger, and most of the nations will be fully specialized. Another important change is the total revision of the loan and credit system. Now the interest rate to which the country gets access to the credit is not determined anymore from the technologies, but from a list of economic and political goals which every country must achieve to access a better credit level. For example, not being at war or having a low level of infamy will help to have a better score, but also having specific laws or economic goals will help. On top of that, you can also use specific actions that will help not only to get a better score, but also to improve your economy, as for example, give the investors incentive to invest more or less in your economy, or ask to the international market for a foreign loan. Another big important change in the Great Revision is the unification of the major countries, which is more railroaded, in particular for the AI, to help them to form their nation and, most importantly, avoid the terrible border war of vanilla. These changes include some of the most important geographical areas of the map, as the North and South America, Europe, Central Asia, and Japan. This feature, which takes the name of DGR Core Return or the Great Revision Core Return, can be enabled or disabled from the game rule before start your campaign, in case you would like to have a more random AI gameplay. You can discover also other changes and additions, like the new treaty articles, some new decrees, and much more. The combination of all these features will make the AI more competent, aggressive and specialized. So, playing this mod, you can expect that the global economies will be super competitive. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you will enjoy the Great Revision, a Victoria free mod.
What's going on in chat? Some people are getting bopped. Thank you, Hamcuts, for the $25 donated to the Video History Foundation. We do have, or are raising money for them. They help to preserve video game history through various means, including physical and digital media. Now, a friendly reminder, we do have a giveaway, and this is basically your last chance to enter the giveaway. The giveaway is going to be for 4 copies. You will not receive 4. There will be 4 giveaways of EU5, the premium edition. So if you want to enter that, there will be a link below, or a link will be provided from one of the people in here. I do think, yeah, I think I have a suspicion as to what the chat stuff was about. I was, we're attending to other things. But if you want to jump in, that is the time to do it. We might spin the wheel 5 times, though. That way we can see who would have won but didn't, which is our kind of favorite thing to do. But you can also feel free to check out the other modders, or the other 4 mods if you are interested in other mods for Victoria 3. Yesterday, Tarkus did stream CK3 and Victoria 3 mods. Those will also be, you can check out his VOD on his channel. That's Tarkus Arcus. And if you're not sure about how many Arcuses, just keep adding more until you get to Tarkus Arcus. And then Midgeman is going to be streaming after us. He is going to be streaming CK3 mods. And then Jillian on Friday streamed CK3 mods. And then also yesterday we had EU5 with Midgeman. And so just kind of want to remind everyone, now is going to be the last opportunity to enter the giveaway. We will be doing the giveaway after this next presentation, which is going to be Basilia Romeon. So if you want to enter it, make sure you do it before then. Basilia Romeon is going to be a massive kind of overhaul of alternate history timeline type of thing that has a bunch of different pivotal moments that changed the trajectory of history. It is available in both EU5 and for Vic 3, so we will be seeing ones for both of those. And so let's jump in and take a look. This is one of the longer videos we have. Maybe we should stall for more time, give people more of a chance to enter the giveaway, if in case they are interested in a copy of EU5. But let's jump in. thank you, Mercy, for the donation to the Video Game History Foundation. Thank you for the €20. Much appreciated. We are going to do the giveaway. You can still click the link and try and enter the giveaway, but we already have all the names selected, so it won't do anything. But if you were interested in doing that, I do believe that is still possible to enter the giveaway but not be selected at this point. So we are going to be doing it, but maybe we should tease it a little bit more. And what better way to tease it than to talk about how, if you were interested in doing a giveaway, you can give money to the Video Game History Foundation if you were so interested. We will kind of maybe take a little bit of a closer look at what they are doing, helping preserve video game history. They have several different projects that they are working on, including a library. I don't know if you guys grew up with the video game magazines and this type of thing, but I did, and honestly, reading through this makes me want to go back to those days. Remember the time before the internet when you got like a physical copy of a magazine, and then your Game Boy ran out of batteries, and so you had to make do with the magazine imagining you were playing a game. They also helped preserve the source code of games. This is with kind of more contemporary things where live support of games, like, it's with the way games are distributed, if they're entirely digital and then the publisher can just completely pull the plug on it and prevent people from distributing copies of it, this type of thing, the chance of games just completely going away, especially if the publisher goes by the wayside, is maybe a bit of a thing, especially for older games. They do have various ways of showing off the games, like museum exhibits, this type of stuff, media assets, and various other projects that we won't kind of delve into yet. Delve, our favorite, generally AI-used word, but also Magic the Gathering mechanic, if those are... Yeah. We do have this, though. Wheel of Fortune. For next stream, that's in an hour. Oh, that's true! That's true. You can't enter this one. I mean, you can, but it won't do anything, because we already have all the names selected for this giveaway. But, if you join next stream, you can enter in next stream, where they will be giving away 6 more keys. We have 4 keys that we're giving away right now. This is going to be the plan. The next stream is in about an hour. It's about an hour, so then we will try and be a little bit faster here. We are going to be spinning the wheel at least 4 times. We have 4 giveaways, but I think we might do a little bit of a sneaky spin after that. And so the first copy is going to... Love those magazines? I did too. Simpler Times. I remember... Yeah. Michael, thank you for your entry. You will be contacted by someone on Discord, so make sure you check your DMs. If you do not check your DMs, it will be hard for you to collect the CD key through Discord with someone that you didn't know. Womp womp, guess I didn't make it on. You can make it on next stream with Midgeman. Alright. We will spin again. You cannot win a key twice. If you have already entered in a key, then what you should do is keep entering just to keep the organizers honest, but you cannot win another key, but they will have to remove you manually. So if at first you do succeed, try again. We have VL Quirana. Thank you, and you're welcome, for the copy of EU5. And so we will remove that from the spin again, and we will proceed on to the next one. We will make sure to give enough time for the organizers to take down the name. Remember the name. Remember the Titans? Oh, okay. Nam Dare, thank you, and you're welcome, for the copy of EU5. I think we've spun the wheel 3 times now. It's important that we keep count, that way we don't give anyone the false impression of having won. That would be not good. This is boring. My guy, we're giving away free stuff. You know, I went to the store the other day, and then I looked for my favorite brand. What was my favorite brand? It was free. My next favorite brand is clearance, and after that it is a sale. This is going to be the final copy that we are giving out for EU5 here, and we are going to be giving it to... Feste the Mad. Feste the Mad. Now, just like last year, we did this before, but we're always curious. Who would have won? Who almost won, but didn't win? We want to instill feelings of FOMO in at least one person, and so we're going to spin the wheel one more time. And just to make as abundantly clear as possible, this next person will not be getting a key. You will not be getting a key, but you were as close as you could have gotten to have gotten a key, and we're going to spin the wheel one more time. These are also my favorite brands. They are good. Yeah, they're good brands. So, we are going to spin to see who almost won a free key. Did the board guy win? Did he? That would have been the funny one. Kill him daily, you almost won a key. You did not win a key, but you almost won a key. Congratulations to everyone who won, and consolations to Kill him daily, you almost won, but you did not. Cruel and unusual punishment, a little bit, but that is the price you have to pay if you are going to enter a free giveaway, is the disappointment of not winning, and then occasionally the almost winning. But thank you to you guys. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for those who have supported this here, a charity. And now we're going to do Mod Jam, unless I'm mistaken. And we have something else on the schedule. Do me a favor and pull a quick... you found a nasty bug, and... Oh, okay. Nasty bug has been found. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to our game capture, and we're going to show that we have Vic 3 open, but now we have to restart it. Because there was a bug. We will exit to desktop. And we will be highlighting our schedule, which is, now we're just on Mod Jam. We're at the back of the schedule. But for those of you who are with us, joining us live, and have not been here for kind of some of the previous bits of what's going on, these are the mods that we have covered so far. Forgive me. Actually, let's take a look at the art again while I get this set up, because that will be a good thing, and my brain is not multitasking as well. And so let's take a look at the art of Angels Aren't Real one more time. All right. So let's do what? But we have the game. What's the? Okay. We're in, and we're going to change the restream chat. Sorry, you guys are too tall. We're gonna cut you in half instead. You're half the men you were. By half the men, I mean half the chat. We were told we should play a GP. So I think that we will. Who's the most generic GP we could play? Let's play as the USA. Now the title is Frog Noir. You did not expect a frogman to appear in your office. I did not, I must admit. But Froggy Zaba seems friendly and brings news of a worldwide conspiracy. Isn't conspiracy another name for an animal group of things? Like there's a murder of crows, a conspiracy, this type of thing? Which mod are you showing? We are showing a mod that'll take a little bit of investigation for you to find, a little bit of sleuthing, a little bit of, you're finally here, we have work to do. He took a long breath from a cigarette and delightfully blew out a cloud of smoke. Forget about wars and the economy. I'm trying, that's why we're playing games here. Today we face a far greater menace, the Toads. They're trying to infiltrate your government, your police, your industry, and we only know one way to stop them. Everyone knows there's only one way to stop a toad. Interesting. Well, let's turn the music back on, because we had turned this off. I think that we have only the Japanese music playing, but that's okay. And then let's kind of do a little bit of some stuff here. Oh, we can't left click. Got it. And then let's put some down in New York and Virginia. That should be fine. And then just do like the basics in terms of what we maybe have going on. Just kind of set up a little bit of some auto expand so that we can focus on the frogs and be off and on our way. Now, they will infiltrate the law, allegedly, and so we're going to have to start sleuthing through already. This mod in itself, there's a meta investigation going on here, chat. I hope you understand. We're trying to get to the bottom of what exactly this mod is doing. Please join our voice chat, dear generalist. You can't just tell me what this mod does. This is about investigation here. Okay, we'll join the voice chat. We'll join the voice chat. Okay, I'm in. I can't hear you.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear you.
Hi.
Hello. So...
Oh.
I was told to join, rather than investigate. Is this a ruse?
I think Alexa Dishi can tell you the most about the mechanics, because I mostly worked on the frog and Miss Deuce mostly worked on the outfit, so maybe ask him.
So what am I getting into? What am I supposed to be doing? What should I be showing? What should I be doing? Alex? We lost another good one today.
Okay, yeah. There we go. Okay. So, the gist is, you use the journal that you have, the situation journal that you have. You use that to direct your frogmen to try and figure out what's going on. So there's a little special custom GUI for it.
Yep. I see it.
And then you can pick a bunch of options in there. You can see you can either have them, because your first guy you have is your lead investigator guy.
Yeah.
And then you can, the reason I said it for a GP, so you can hire more investigators.
Right. Gotta have more frogs.
Because you need money to do that. So you can take two actions. You can focus on finding clues, which will generate leads, and then you use leads to figure out to conspiracy even is in the first place.
Okay, okay. That is expensive for a new investigator.
Yeah, blame Lord R. He's making us pay Swiss prices.
Alright, fair enough, fair
I
enough.
like this part, it can't be free.
What you don't see is that these investigators' teeth are literally coated with gold.
Do frogs have teeth?
I mean, they can get killed, so they want a lot of money.
I'm not sure frogs have teeth. This
Not
sounds
sure
like toad propaganda.
Actually, wait, you're right. They don't. Pelly, I'm sorry.
Sounds like toad
Well,
propaganda.
technically-
I'm not sure we
I
can...
didn't remove the teeth, so they actually have teeth. You just can't see them.
I'm not sure we can trust these modders, chat. They might be with the toads. If we don't uncover this investigation, we'll be sleeping with the fishes. Right? Right? Anything else I should know?
Basically. No, that's the gist of it. That is, you can just take different actions with those buttons, but basically the gist is find clues and investigate leads.
Okay, perfect.
And and you'll gradually generate as you go.
Alright. We will try and go fast. Alright, I'm gonna drop so I can roleplay as a frog. My destiny.
Alright.
You thought we was with the toads? Forget about it! Alright, let's focus on finding some clues here. And let's recruit as many investigators as possible. Be off and on our way. Worcester versus Georgia. Why did I pick the USA? I just experience like emotional pain every time the Trail of Tears event pops. Perhaps there is a better way. Higher learning, sure, but we have... Look how many people are in on the conspiracy. It runs deeper than we thought, chat. It runs deeper than we thought. We got Frogerslav Frogo, Tadpole Private Investigator. We got, to use our research, because, you know, reasons. We got he's a political operator in the... We like people who are the operators. I'm hopping here! I'm hopping here! We have another Tadpole Private Investigator. Generating clues. I wonder if we can roll these traits on... This guy's sleuthing for clues. I thought we were searching for clues. Suspicious boats near the port. Reports from New York describe strange boats at our coast. What happens if you play a landlocked country? Okay, the suspicions didn't stem from the slime that was all over them. That was fairly normal in these parts of the world. But by the croaking that was coming from them. Did that boat just croak? It's not a French boat, so why would they transport frogs and all this slime? Is this some attempt by the French to infiltrate our cuisine? Forget about it, except don't, because this is a clue. This is a clue. We don't forget about those. Frog creatures at night. Villagers in coastal Florida have spotted some frog-like shadows in the night. Some of them even mentioned that they're hearing croaking. Forget about it! But what they saw was the size of humans. Couldn't possibly be frogs, could it? Could it? Big shadows lurking. You trying to call them fat? They look like huge frogs, and then they started croaking. Strangely, my pet dog disappeared that soon anyway. Don't you mean your snack? Can't find him anywhere. We're all scared now. True. Ah, no! We're too late. Slimy traces. There's only 2 things that leave slimy traces, or 3, but we'll talk about the 2. Snails, frogs, and that other one. We get some more clues. We gotta investigate some of these leads. We got a slimy trace. They must have been in Philadelphia. I mean, it sounds like Philly. The slimy traces were clear evidence, but what human leaves a slimy trail? Or what? What is this? Slime dropped on the investigator's shoe. Green, slimy, stinky. Is there any type of slime other than the slimy kind? I think not. So where does this come from? Do we have criminal snails and slugs now? Alright, isn't snails and slugs, isn't this like aren't they... I mean, we don't want to make this is an investigation, not a discourse on the taxonomy of animals, but I believe snails and slugs, they're kind of one and the same, no? In terms of the taxonomy of what's going on. We are investigating some of the leads that we have here. Like Moggin, but it's Froggin? Exactly. I like the way you think. A local informant. A dark alley. He's flipping a... Wait, do we have a coin somewhere? You see an informant standing there, smoking a cigarette, flipping a coin. It's half his net worth. You wonder what the best approach to the situation is. I heard you got some information for you. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on the circumstances. The circumstances are, I'm walking here. We can gain 1 evidence. Frogdy Zapta gains some experience. He's uncovering some stuff. We can gain 4 evidence. This option will be unavailable in the future. We can threaten him for more info. That doesn't sound like a bribe. When is a bribe a threat? What is this? Alright, we'll thank him for the hard work. Abolitionist. We got more important things. We got more important things going on. There's a frog conspiracy here. Abolition can wait. Muscelids and Stellaris are cool. Goddamn muscelids. Mollusks. All this racism is gonna lead to the conspiracy, not like this. Slime marks at the bank. You've been slimed. Morning. The bank building. A hole in the wall. Slime everywhere. You wonder what the best approach to the situation is. I find, and... Okay, mod aside, I find when I'm in a bank building with a hole in a wall and slime is everywhere, there's really only one course of action. But we won't get into that. I was just eating my croissant when I heard a huge explosion. Just a moment later, a huge drop of slime landed in my coffee cup. It was absolutely crazy. Take notes and leave? Follow the slimy trail. We don't like red herrings. A herring? That's, it's a fish. And the red is the worst kind. We'll just take some notes and leave. An inconspicuous tavern? Is it though? We found it. Nighttime. Old tavern in the middle of nowhere. All the clues lead here. And there he is. Toadman in the corner. Playing poker. You wonder the best approach to this situation is. I'm doing a lot of wandering. And not a lot of solving investigations. Dried martini, steak and not shirred. What is a martini? We don't have those posh drinks that. In that case, a beer. Isn't alcohol really bad for toads? Alright. Alright. You know, we get the toad. And we continue our investigation. The red herrings in cahoots with toads? I don't know. That seems like a red herring thing to do. Or does it seem like a not red herring thing to do? It's 5 o'clock in the morning. A wasted Frogty Zapta is sitting below the bar just wondering how he's going to pay the tavern bill. He's not. Every investigator knows you run out on your bill. Just sitting there like nothing else matters. I promised my boss I'd stay clean off the good stuff for a while. It looks like now I'm in the gutter. Let him get some sleep? We only have 1 red herring. Maybe 1 more drink will help. Yeah, let's do another one. Another one. Abolitionists. Indian removal. Jesus. Gentlemen, With great pleasure to inform you. Nighttime. Basement. Full of toads. One of them is holding a speech. Another one's holding a carrot. Gentlemen, it is with great pleasure to inform you of our infiltration of another nation's leadership. This marks our 5th government that has been infiltrated. No one can stop us. Stage a raid. We don't have private investigator keeping watch. Let's just watch. We like to watch. But that guy will keep watch. He likes to watch. Technically, alcohol is bad for all living things? Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true. We have 3 out of 5 red herrings. We can lose a couple of those. We can lose a lot of these. Let's lose 2. Midnight. Long day. Finally back at the safe house. What should you do now? I'm getting too old for this. I was too old for this a while ago. Chat already doesn't get my references. Forget about it. Alright. An unwanted confrontation, following the trail that led to a factory. The sun was already setting and stopped you from entering. There he was, the Toad. John Toad. It's all over. It's just another John. John Toad, I have the high ground. Stay hidden and no need to croak now. No chance you are going to die here? Run? Nah. We're not scared like that. We are at 5 out of 8 investigations. So I say this'll be the end of John Toad. We now have more than enough evidence. Investigating the leads. Conspirator identified. Froggy Zaba, still along the street, cigarette dying between his fingers. As he to the engine draws near, as the engine drew near, let's say, several shots rang out and he dropped in the street, dead before the rain could wash out the blood from his coat. Froggy knows his man, John Toad, the Toad mobster. A witness account, separately obtained from his reporter, described the incident as happening quickly in the rain. The witness reported seeing figures in the dark trench coat near the curb, firing shots before disappearing into the night. Just after the gunfire, the witness heard what was strangely described as a satisfied croak from the shooter. Naturally, one gets satisfied when shooting toads. Yeah, it's all over for John Toad. Get wasted, my friend. Alright. Let's find some clues now. We gained a lead. How many leads we need? We have 4 clues and 5 leads. Alright, let's go. Let's investigate. A lead. A lady with a wide smile. That sounds like a frog to me. Now, we of course know that this is frog content buried into the vanilla game. A beautiful lady approached Winfred Scott, the ball today. Her olive-colored skin. Now, does this sound like... Oh, wait, this actually is frog content. This is... Yeah, okay. Her olive-colored skin and her wide smile immediately captivated, but then who would know the slimy tracks left by the lady? But would he notice the slimy tracks left by the lady? I generally notice when my lady leaves slimy tracks, I must admit. Oh, what a beautiful face. May I ask you to dance? Sir, that slimy woman is a fraud, or... Ladies interest group approval. Gets saved from a toad. With a beautiful woman like you, always. Gets wide-mouthed mistress indefinitely. Hey, yo, frog. What that mouth do? Alright, we're gonna do the slimy woman is a fraud. She's a fraud. Not only is she a fraud, she's a frog. Where's our quarter? We need to flip it. Just catching dames. Looking for leads. Looking for frogs. Looking for toads. If I was more coordinated, I'd be able to flip this coin better. Alright. We gained a new lead. We're investigating. I'm investigating, yeah. Shiny literally talking to a painting. The truth hurts. We could switch to clues. There's some placeholder text. It's a little suspicious if you ask me. Bleeding Isle. This sounds like a frog event. Maybe we need more clues. This is changing dramatically. It's been a while since we've seen anything of these toads. I wonder. Let's stop keeping watch and start sleuthing for clues. Politician approached by toadmen. Quinine Charlotte was approached by some well-dressed, slimy men. Are they men? Are they really men? I ask you. They offer them the right to make him insanely rich. Hopefully, he's righteous enough to not fall to corruption. Mr. Chouette, we have an offer you can't refuse. The well-dressed gentleman pulled a hefty package, our favorite kind, out of his coat pocket. Is that a bribe, or are you just happy to see me? The slime dropped it off with his hands, but the contents of the package were more than worth the slimy offer. Corruption. You get a clue? Excuse me, I might be corrupt, but I'm not slimy. Break the news to the press. I am corrupt, but I ain't slimy. I ain't slimy. Insanely rich. There we go. Croaking alleyway. Croaking all the way home. News reports from Columbus have arrived are interesting. Apparently people are disappearing in an alleyway, and witnessing recounts hearing a lot of croaking. Yes, I know how this sounds, but croaking. There was a worldwide conspiracy by toadmen to replace us all. I swear, my wife disappeared in the alley a few days back and finally returned the voice. She was lower and she was slimy. She probably left a trail. We could look for some clues in that trail. We'll ask the police. Keep tabs on that croaking. And also, make sure they don't destroy any evidence. You know, it's a really good thing about not destroying evidence, or something about might interest you, is a little bit of this supporting history, video game history. If you are interested in helping to support the charity. We are currently raising money for the Video Game History Foundation. Nothing will be destroyed by frogmen if we help to preserve it. And so, if you're interested, the charity is off to the side. And also, the YouTuber who raises the least amount of money will have to walk the plank. But I digress. We're gonna keep tabs on everything. Nothing will be lost to history or underneath our froggy eyes. Pointing fingers? Are they fingers? Are the digits that extend from an amphibian's hand called fingers, or are they called something else? Okay. It was quite evident that the politically unaligned were infiltrated by Thos. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. These guys, they're like nihilists. They believe in nothing. Slime and corruption everywhere, but no evidence. Now the question is accusing them publicly worth it? You are a toad? No, sir, you are a toad. No, you are a toad. I'm quite obviously a frog and not a toad, etc. The slime trail is enough. Accuse them. Intelligentsia, accused of being toad-friendly. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah, we'll give him that. A treaty is a treaty, not like this. Jesus Christ. That hits me right in the feels. I don't want to have to deal with the coup. God damn it. Alright. Admin games. Yeah, we'll send you where you belong. Montana. Have fun. Nice little vacation. Get out of here. How do we have a shortage and this is not hiring up? What foul wizardry is this? Is this qualifications issue? Not like this. Up in arms? Growing split. I thought it was going to be frog related. Terrible. Where's the suspicious frog waifu that's in the middle of the drama? Haven't you been hearing about her? She's been leaving a trail. Alright, water tube is unlocked. Try to be quick with it. We do a ton of construction. We're letting it idle. We shouldn't do that. Bungled coup. Terrible. Nationalism. We need it to defend against the frogs. Crooked connections or crocade connections? Oh no, wait, this is normal event. Alright. We got a local informant. Nighttime. Let's set the stage. Nighttime. Dark alley. The informant is standing there, smoking a cigarette. You wonder what the best approach is. I heard you have some information for you. Maybe, maybe not. Well, he's been a reliable informant. This is the second time he's given us information. We'll just give him a pat on the back. An inconspicuous tavern. Nighttime. Set the stage. Nighttime. Old tavern in the middle of nowhere. All the clues lead here, and there he is. Toadman in the corner, playing poker. You wonder what the best approach to the situation is. Dried martini. Stirred, not shaken. Bartender gives him the wrong drink. He ordered the wrong drink. Bartender gives it to him. He gets froggy with them. It's probably not a toad if he's getting froggy, is he? Oh no, wait, he drinks beer instead. We could try and get that toad. We have no red herrings. Let's go for it. You left the live call? I thought I was supposed to. Hello? Let's take a look at Discord. Okay, sorry. Apologies. Time's running out. You gotta end your stream. It just starts at 23 minutes. He's so close to finishing. I mean, if it finishes just a few minutes. Not like this. Okay, so... we will get the toad. And maybe be off on our way? They told me we'd rejoin the call, and then nobody's here. You'll be done with 4 more evidence? Alright, we're gonna get the evidence. We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Yes, you should be done soon, hopefully.
We need 1 more.
Yeah, you're real close.
Close to removing all the natives. That's true. Hopefully we don't get too many red herrings. Showdown
Just one more
at the
evidence.
pond. Also exile at gates. The pond. What else? You followed the target here, and here he is, full of slime. The rain pitter-pattered all off my wear-worn hat. It was for appearance mostly, as most hats are. As with all frogs, rain was a blessing. Smoke curled up from the struggling cigarette I sullenly gripped in my mouth. Oh shit. It was almost time. I reached in my coat pocket in anticipation. The puttering of the car signals his approach, then blam, blam, blam! My revolver barked it out. The car screeched to a halt. I didn't ask no questions first. I just started firing. I just started blasting. John Toad was no more. I croaked in satisfaction with myself. John Toad dies. We get also an exile at the gates. We'll ignore that. And I think we have completed the most important event in the early American history. And with that, I think we'll be wrapping up the stream. In around 20 minutes time, Midgeman will be up. And Midgeman will be covering CK3. And well as the end of ModCon, there will be a giveaway there. And then also, we will also be continuing to raise money for the Video Game History Foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think we will be outroing. Is there any last thing? No? Alright, we're gonna end the stream. See you guys later, everyone. Sleep with the fishes.